Ladies and gentlemen, the house of our enemy has caught on fire. And you know what we do here? We become proverbial arsonists. We are not firefighters here. No. We become arsonists. What am I talking about? Muhoozi Kainerugaba is now threatening Anita Among. Inject this in my veins. Ladies and gentlemen, after it was reported recently by Daily Monitor, I think 1 day ago, when they said that the Speaker of the House had purchased a Rolls-Royce worth a whopping 3.4 billion shillings. Now Muhoozi Kainerugaba is coming out to say, what did you do? This is what he wrote on his X platform. He said, I have been Museve's son for 52 years, but I have never sat in a Rolls-Royce ever. I don't think Museveni has sat in one either. Okay? They're telling you, you can't have what I do not have. I don't care whether you have money. Absolutely. You cannot have what I do not have. That's the mindset of dictatorship 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy this. Like I usually say, inject this in my veins.
It meant that Anita Among has actually captured the political infrastructure of the NRM across the country.
Anita Among has captured the political structure of the NRM in the country. That was a warning for Muhoozi Kainerugaba, telling Anita Among, we are watching you. We see what you're doing.
Now, remember, people in NRM do not want anybody to wield that amount of power. But more than...
Remember, people in the NRM do not want anybody to wield that amount of power. Who are these people in the NRM? Name names. When he says, remember people in the NRM, is referring to one man and maybe another man and maybe a woman. People in the NRM is referring to Museveni, Kelebaka and Wanaho, aka Salim Saleh, or Janet Kataha. Welcome to Mordecai Marissa Live.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live political commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I should tell you this. There's a video that was supposed to be dropping at our usual time, 7 a.m. Ugandan time, but I had to reschedule that video for another day because of this one. And so if that video drops just in a few hours from now, you'll see I'll be dressed differently. I was at work by the time Muhoozi Kainerugaba was busy behaving like a spoiled brat, a neighbor baby, using his X platform to post these diatribes driven by alcohol, no doubt. And then I'm like, oh, I cannot do it, but I'll do it when I get back home. So when I got home, I'm like, straight to the studio, put on my jacket, and here I am reporting to you what's going on. So ladies and gentlemen, like I've said, recently, Daily Monitor reported that Anita Among, who has a fleet of luxurious cars, had bought more. I think I have to show you this. These are a number of cars she has. Before we get to that, she's got this one, Anita Among. That's the personalized number plate. So yeah, you can see there, AAA Anita Among, and you see how she's got it. And then she has this one, Range Rover. This one, I don't know what I'm not good. I think this is a Mercedes-Benz. At least I know this. I'm not good at cars. Okay, Mercedes-Benz. And then you have this one. It's a Range Rover, AAA3. And then she's bought a Rolls-Royce. Where are you getting all this money? They have told us, please shut up. You're not a hard worker, Mordecai. You should be a good hard worker. Only for one of the commissioners of parliament to come out and say, hey, we steal money. But you know the difference between you and us? I can sustain the 400 million shillings I awarded myself alongside colleagues of mine. So this is what she bought. Now Muhoozi Kainerugaba, actually I will take you to his official account. Reminder, he blocked me. So I can read all his tweets, but I cannot respond. If I wanted to respond, I'm not able to. Okay? So he wrote late in the night, he said, I have been Muzee's son for 52 years. Come on. Hey, there's a life beyond being a Museveni son. But I digress. But I have never sat in Rolls-Royce ever. I don't think Museveni has sat in one either. And then he goes on to say, our job is to serve Ugandans, to not ourselves. I cannot support corruption. Oh, really? Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? You cannot support corruption? He goes on to say, I risk my life to make this country peaceful. Now that it will not be taken by thieves. When did you risk? When did you risk your life? You know, these people have a tendency. It's a savior mentality. Oh, see me? You exist because of me. You never risk nothing, you dunderhead. You never risked any person. You've never risked for any person. Zero. When? Has he ever been involved in a war, any front line? Have you seen him anywhere? No. I risked my life. And I'm not surprised because just a few days after that lady, Anita Among, was sanctioned by the UK, US, and allies, she came out and says, you know, I'm carrying a cross for 50 million Ugandans. Where do they... Isn't it funny that Anita Among thinks she's carrying my cross, and then Muhoozi thinks, oh, I am saving Mordecai, and then Museveni thinks, oh, I am the only one who has... it is because of me that you are alive. Where do they get this? So who is the savior? Is it Muhoozi? Is it Anita Among? Is it Museveni or Kadaga or any else? To mention them, those names down. And then he goes on to say, PLU believes in the reduction of any monies sent to Parliament. We believe in redirecting that money to the millions of Ugandans living in shacks with no water or power. Oh, so the Ugandans, are you admitting that, you know, your dad has failed on the reaching the middle income status, achieving that middle income status? We have Ugandans living in shacks with no water and power. I thought that's already solved. You know, we've already reached the middle income status. Maybe we are a first world country. And this is why I usually tell you, I enjoy it when these folks are fighting, because you know what? It opens that window for us to see the road within this elite class, the power struggles within this elite class of Uganda. Then he goes on to say, I think he said, let's go on and read a few other tweets. We have another candidate, call him or her, the PLU candidate. He says, my big brother Mao is DP. It is impossible that NRM and PLU will vote for him. Morareje. So, then this one says, Deputy Speaker Yalide Mpanga ono ebituuse. You know? And then I want to show you because I might be buying the idea, they might be backing Thomas Tayebwa. Let me take you to what Thomas Tayebwa said earlier before. I'll show you here. And then I'll show you what they're trying to ask her. Oh, wait a second. What they're trying to ask her Among to do is to drop out of this race. What am I typing here, Mordecai? Come on. Thomas Tayebwa. And the commentary that's going to be coming in the next 5 hours, it's about this guy. Okay, so Daily Monitor wrote by Timothy Kalyejida, wrote and said, in no country in the world except Uganda would the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly represent the head of the army at a charity run organized by the political organization that this CDF heads. It is bizarre. It is bizarre. But, you know, you can see here the man himself, I think I need to go back. This guy, Thomas Tayebwa, leading in this Muhoozi birthday run. And let me show you how he responded. It's like, oh, my brother. They have a tendency of referring to us like my brother. I'm not your brother. Okay, my brother Tim. I'm not someone obsessed with titles, but rather one's contribution. Shut up. Everything you are, your identity is a title. Oh, I'm not the... There's a fun... Again, this is the virus of Museveni spreading everywhere. Museveni, you know, presenting himself as this reluctant dictator that is being asked to, please lead us. Please, if you go, we might die. The nation will cease to exist. That's how Museveni wants to. He usually presents himself as this force that if we miss using this force, the country will be annihilated. Is indispensable. No. You're replaceable. And your replacement is where we should have done it like 40 years ago. Okay, it says, my brother Tim, I'm not someone obsessed with titles, but rather with one's contribution. I'm proud to have stood in force for someone I admire and believe. Okay? Someone who sacrifices more than any one of us to have peaceful and secure country. Really, Muhoozi Kainerugaba? By drink tweeting? That's what he does. But above all, someone I call a friend, a brother, whom I believe once given an opportunity will take our beautiful country to another level. Are you kidding me? This man is now campaigning for Muhoozi Kainerugaba immediately. I mean, I do not understand the extent how these folks will stoop so low to perform for a fellow man. See me, Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Let me heap praises on you. Please, will you not see me? Really? A man who brags about abducting, torturing, and killing people. A man who says, Rijema didn't kill enough people. I think I should kill more than him. Is that a man you're proud of? You know, this is a conversation I had with Cedric Babu. May his soul rest in peace. He approached me. We had a conversation and was like, hey, Mordecai, I respect you. I think you're one of the reasonable folks on the opposition, blah, 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 on Twitter. Then I said, hey, but I don't understand you, Cedric. How do you continue being friend with a man who gloats in the abduction of people? Explain to me that like a kindergartner. And I'm not trying to say, hey, you're going to hate him, but hey, can you create a distance between you and him? So Thomas Tayebwa is telling us that, you know what, of all people in Uganda, the best candidate for presidency is none other than a man who brags in the abduction, killing, and torturing people. Oh, I'm going to cut off Bobby Wine's balls. What? Oh, I'm going to kill Westje. Is that like he wants to kill us? That he believes that? He doesn't believe, not even an ounce, not a modicum, an iota. Choose any term you want to use. He doesn't believe in that. Everything he said there, he doesn't believe it. But they've been reduced to a state of begging. That just being emissaries to Museveni is a badge of honor. How sad, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, but above all, someone I call a friend and a brother whom I believe once given an opportunity would take our beautiful country to another level. We've given his father opportunities after. Actually, we gave him an opportunity by joining him to fight the Obote and Tito Okelolutwa's regime. What did he do? Betrayed it. And what is he giving us? A son who is so proud in violating human rights. Who was given an opportunity. Shut up, go home, disappear. Thomas Tayebwa. But ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you. Let me flash your memory here. Flash back your memory. What Muhoozi Kainerugaba is doing here, he's trying to tell Anita Among, 1, drop out. 2, if you stay in the race, we're going to defeat you. And at the same time, they are sending signals to the rest of other folks who are ambitious politicians within the Museveni cabal that, hey, you don't go beyond. Let your ambitions not go beyond where my dad or myself want you to stop. Do not go too far. If you do, it will be flying too close to the sun. That's what they're trying to tell them. I want to remind you, this was Muhoozi Kainerugaba speaking to Anita Among, but using Andrew Mwenda. So Andrew Mwenda was a messenger of Muhoozi's message. Listen to what he said carefully.
Suppose there is internal discussion who should be speaker, and there are serious concerns if should Anita Among return.
Serious concerns from whom?
The speaker. Anita Among, remember, was historically from FDC. Yeah. Even her deputy, the deputy speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, was also from FDC. Yes. So
FDC, that's the Forum for Democratic Change. Yeah.
The Forum for Democratic Change, an opposition political party. Now, she initially when she came to run for deputy speaker against Jacob Olanya, the first speaker, Thomas Tayebwa was going to contest against her. She defeated him in the NRM caucus at State House, and he said he was going to run as an independent. But the president feared she may lose or it may favor the opposition, and he offered Tayebwa the job of chief whip in exchange for her to be left to run and win. But once she was elected speaker, what Anita Among did was now to go and previously she was an outsider to NRM seeking the president's patronage to get through. Now, when she comes into, she begins winning over NRM structures, NRM district councillors.
She's winning over NRM structures. Pay attention to the language. This is Muhoozi Kainerugaba speaking. Just replace that face over that smug Andrew Mwenda with Muhoozi's face.
Counter councillors, parish councillors, then NRM leagues for the youth, for women, for the disabled, for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So that last year, when it came to running for national vice chairperson of the NRM on the women's ticket against a seasoned Kadaga, Rebecca Kadaga, who was former speaker, she defeated her hands down. She won by more than 80% of the vote. Now, but what did that signify, Charles? It meant that Anita Among has actually captured the political infrastructure of the NRM across the country.
Anita Among has captured the political structure of the NRM in the country. That was a warning for Muhoozi Kainerugaba telling Anita Among, we are watching you. We see what you're doing. Pay attention. He's spilling more beans here.
Whether you talk of these different leagues, youth, women, disabled, entrepreneurs, whether you talk of district structures, district councillors, sub-county councillors, LC5 chairman, town clerks, all those people, she has won them. Now, she's a heavily consolidated person in the party. You come to parliament. She has a stronghold over parliament.
She has stronghold over parliament, okay?
Both the NRM, the independent, and the independents, but also plus the opposition. Because she came from there, those people, she knows them personally. They can share with her their most intimate fears and anxieties and seek her assistance. Then she has also money. Now, remember, people in NRM do not want anybody to wield that amount of power. But more than
remember, people in the NRM do not want anybody to wield that amount of power. Who are these people in the NRM? Name names. When he says, remember people in the NRM, he's referring to one man and maybe another man and maybe a woman. People in the NRM is referring to Museveni, Kelebaka and Wanaho, aka Salim Saleh, or Janet Kataha. That's the NRM. Without those three, there's no NRM.
And that, she has also won over the judiciary. You cannot take a case to court against Anita Among in the judiciary and win. Because many judges who are being appointed, she's the one who has to approve them through parliament. Wow. Their children are given jobs by her at parliament. The Parliamentary Commission employs more than 2,000 people, and she's the one who dispenses those jobs. And Charles, the Parliamentary Commission is the highest paying institution in Uganda. If you want your daughter hired, my granddaughter Charlene, you want her hired, send her to Parliament of Uganda. The minimum salary is about 10 million shillings. So all these ministers, judges, whatever it is, bishops and prelates, all of them have their children working at Parliament, earning good salaries, and they have been hired by Anita Among. So there is concern.
See, Charles Onyango Bo is like, wow. Because he understands what Andrew Mwenda is doing. Andrew Mwenda is sending a message directly to Anita Among. And remember when Anita Among recently came out and denied, I hear there's no sense. People say that I want to run for president. That's utter nonsense. The language was nebulous. I hear people, we've only had one person say that, and it is who? Andrew Mwenda. So he's referring to him. So they are wondering. They're sending all signals to Anita Among to drop out, but she's insisting. Okay?
There's concern. So, she has effective control over powerful elites.
About the race for the speakership, Andrew, because it seemed that this was sewn up, Bob, isn't it? Is it that when I think the Central Executive Committee or something met and the word was that they had agreed on her, but now we see the thing has, I think Lydia Wanyoto, Norbert Mao, our friend, has made a very, very public bid. Nah, but
because that is one. The second thing,
Listen.
The second thing is that many people in NRM are concerned that given the amount of power and influence Anita Among has accumulated, and the money she has accumulated, I've told you she has influence in the parliament, she has influence across the country in all the NRM structures, but she also has influence in the judiciary, overwhelming influence in the judiciary. And then she has also a huge influence on Ugandan elites in whether mufutis or bishops or ministers whose children every day she's employing at parliament. She has a lot of say over many things. And people are concerned that.
And people are concerned. Who are these people? Museveni, Keleba Kanonahu, Muhoozi, and General Kataha.
That a person with that amount of power, and especially if you're looking towards a future transition, you don't want her to be speaker.
Oh, if you're looking at a future transition, you don't want her to be speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, and now brings us to Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He tweets in the middle of the night that, you know what? We've got our own. It is not Nobati Mao. It is not Anita Among because she's spending all these billions of money on cars. Cars my dad has never had an opportunity, not even to drive, not only to drive, but to even sit in. They're telling Anita Among, please drop out of the race. She broke a very, very huge law in the book of simping, or the book of being a minion, a foot soldier, an obsequious foot soldier. You try to go to be very ambitious, that's a crime. I'll read you here. The Dictator's Handbook. What does it say? Oh, that's a lot of noise. I think I should do this. All right. Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. The perils of meritocracy. That's the sub, I think it's a sub-chapter within Staying in Power. It says here, the three most important characteristics of a coalition. Now, they were referring to a dictator. If a dictator is going to be in power and consolidate that power, he's got to build what they define as a coalition. And this coalition is a group of supporters, many of whom might be his ministers, members of parliament, or members of his political party. So they're saying the three most important characteristics of a coalition are, number one, there are three, but number one is loyalty. Guess what number two is? Number two is loyalty. And number three is loyalty. They're going to say, successful leaders, they're referring to Museveni, not successful in a positive way, but successful in a perverted way, in consolidation of power by all means necessary. That's what they're referring to success. Successful leaders surround themselves with trusted friends and family and rid themselves of any ambitious supporters. They rid themselves of any ambitious supporters. Oh, what's your name? Apollo Sivambi, they think that you're so smart. How about I replace you with Nabanja, who's going to refer to me as Deputy God. Museveni, Hati Jida Museveni. After God, you are next. Nabanja said that. Surround yourself. Get rid of the Kadaga who think that they played a role in keeping you in power. Who said, Singa Tabakubanzi, Singa Katasibi Bintwa Darachitula. Hey! Get rid of her. Replace her with none other than Anita Among. But Anita Among is not a good student, doesn't understand the circumstances under which she ends up in that position. She tries to build her own army silently. She's flying too close to the sun. She's being warned. Hey, we see what you're doing. Watch yourself. Watch your back. That's what they're saying. Watch your back. It is crazy. That's what's going on. Don't get it twisted. And like I said, you don't have to have a horse in this race. It is Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Nobody Mao, Thomas Tayebwa, or Anita Among, they're all the same. These are different sides of the same coin. There's no difference whatsoever, zero. So, you just have to be like, hey, love, hey, babe, get me, pass me my popcorn. And do you want to give me some juice? Give me a glass of water and let me enjoy. You can enjoy. You don't have to choose a side. Look at Nobati Mao, the talking points he uses. Unity. We need to build this country. This country is unity. Unity, that's what he says. We have to look beyond Museveni. Unity. He has that flashy, that sleek language and that fake eloquency. He doesn't really care about you. He's a Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Tell me, how is that ministry working right now? If he really meant anything, we would see something practical. How many years has he been in this office? What has he done? So, my girl Anita Among, I feel sorry for you, but I guess you know what you are walking into. You can actually decide to quit before it gets bad. These people, they don't care. And you know them. You know them. But hey, you might be enjoying this game, so enjoy. Let me know what you think. Am I reading too much into this? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. My name is Mordecai Maurice. I'll see you when you see me. Bye-bye for now. Oh, yes. There's a video coming where Tayebwa was warning the EU Parliament, oh, we are going to take you on right now. They should reverse our country. We should be serious. That Tayebwa got zero charisma, zero eloquence, zero public speaking skill. We should take you on. I'm going to take them on now. Come back later and watch that video. It will be here. Just in a few hours from now. See you later.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.